The kitchen cabinets are incomplete. It's missing an end plate. All the upper cabinets are missing their doors. And that one cabinet down between the fridge and the stove is missing a door. A bunch of the shelving is over here. And then the crown molding is sitting on the floor right there. So all those kitchen cabinets need to be completed. There's under cabinet lighting, and all the lights are in except for that one. So you can see all the lights are in. None of them work. I can't figure out how to turn them on. I assume because this one light is not in place, so it's not fully wired. So you can see that they're all in except for that one. Now there's also some wiring, looks like that was done underneath that cabinet, but again, I don't know how to turn them on. The microwave and hood fan is missing, and it's sitting in a box over here in the corner, so it's not even out of the box yet, and it needs to be mounted above the stove. The bedroom is missing the finishing for the closet. There should be drawers along the bottom and then sliding glass mirrors for the rest of the way. It's all missing. There's not even any parts here. Ceiling fans were installed, but the lens caps were missing and no light bulbs. I've since got light bulbs, but the ceiling fan in the bedroom is still missing a lens cap. I did find the lens cap for the ceiling fan in the main room. The floor registers were all missing. I've since gone to Home Depot and I picked out floor registers, so now it's safe for people to walk around without falling into a hole where the floor registers were supposed to be. The gas dryer is not working. The HVAC guys were in, hooked it all up, and they were getting a fault code that said there was something wrong with the motherboard. So they're going to have to deal with that, or someone's going to have to deal with it because the gas dryer does not work. The dishwasher is fully installed except it's not wired. That wire is actually running out from underneath the dishwasher, so it has not been connected to the electrical system. The breaker in the panel was on. I've since turned it off so that the wire sticking out on the floor is no longer live. It's dead. Under the sink, there's something plugged into some sort of converter, and I'm assuming that that is the under-counter lighting, but I don't know because the under-counter lighting is not working. But there's something plugged in there. I'm not sure if those little marrettes are the right thing to hold that together and whether that's proper code or not. There's a couple cracks in the drywall above the big door entrance. When Chris was here doing the skirting, he said that he was going to come back and repair these cracks. The folding door that's supposed to cover the entrance to the furnace is not yet installed, needs to be installed. In the ensuite sink, it leaks, and it leaks right around that brass ring at the top. So it's probably got an incorrect seal there somewhere, but it's leaking, so this is not operational yet. We can't even test the main bathroom sink because the drain is missing completely. As you can see, it's not even connected down to the drain pipe. The light fixtures in both bathrooms were not fully installed. I've since done that. I've also gone and got some light bulbs as well. Now the light bulbs and light fixtures in both bathrooms are fully installed and operational. The ensuite bath does not have a toilet paper roll or towel racks or mirror or anything like that. Not sure if that's to come with the system or not. Same thing can be said with the main bathroom. There is no mirror, no towel racks, and no toilet paper holder. When we first tested the shower head was leaking, and I thought it was because there was no Teflon on the shower head. But actually, when we took the shower head off, we found out that there was no sealing ring inside the shower head, even though it did have Teflon tape on it. So I replaced the whole shower head with a brand new shower head, better quality shower head, and it doesn't leak anymore. The smoke detector and propane detector are not yet mounted in the unit. I'm not sure if that's my responsibility or not. I just need Modulux to tell me whether it's their job or my job to install those. There's a storage area above the dryer that has no cabinet covering. I'm not sure if that's our responsibility. I assumed that they would have put at least some sort of covering over that, but it's wide open right now. The dedicated circuit breaker for the sunroom is missing completely. It was on the wiring diagram, but it's not in the panel, and we cannot find any control box mounted underneath the trailer. There are multiple locations where the flooring is not properly seated. It doesn't become flush like it should be. There should be no seams showing like this one here where it's raised. And I can go and touch it, and I can brush up against it. These floor pieces are not very thick, so something is not properly seated. There's multiple situations like this throughout the unit. I'm not sure how they're going to be fixed. When the HVAC guys came to commission this furnace, they found that this fan unit was not properly installed. If you look back in the back there, the fan was not sitting under this bracket, so they had to take it apart, put the fan back together. Well, now, I don't know if you can hear it, but if you listen close enough, there's a clinking sound, almost as if there is some piece of metal or something brushing up inside it. So, I'll let you listen to it. So the HVAC guys are going to come back Monday to see if they can figure out what's causing this problem. Their concern and my concern too is that it will only get worse. None of the covers for the toe plates were installed for the heating vents, which I thought, well, hey, I'll just fix it. That's a pretty simple thing to install it. Probably good that it was not installed, because then when I started to look into it, what did I find is that the vent just comes up underneath the cabinet, and this is the kitchen one. It comes up under the cabinet, but there's no like cover that usually would be mounted in here to force the air out through the vent. Instead, it's just a wide open hole. I've done some research on this, and apparently there's just supposed to be some sort of hood that forces the air up and out and not up under the cabinet. Now, this is the kitchen. I go into the small bath, in the main bathroom. I look, there's a hole in the floor, and I can see in the hole, I can see right down in under the trailer. And I can see that the duct doesn't even come up fully inside the hole. And when I put my hand in there and feel around, the duct actually is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches prior to the hole. So I've got this big gap from the ductwork that doesn't even come up into this area, let alone have a little hood cover that's going to force the air out into the room. Instead, it's just going to force it up in under the cabinet. But as you can see, I've got a massive space there where I'm just going to get air from inside underbelly of the unit that's going to get mixed in with this hot air. My other concern is you could get a big size rat that just walks up inside, gets in there under the trailer, is going to get right up inside of this thing. So I've got a potential of a pest entry location here. Finally, when I go to the small bathroom, if I look under the cabinet, right away I don't see any immediate duct. But if I look way over there to the end, it's hard to tell because you can see kind of the duct is way over there in the corner. So the good thing about this is the duct comes right up inside the floor. It's a nice tight fit, so it's hard for you to see it. But it looks like it has a nice tight fit, so I can't get any animals or stuff coming in. But again, it's just basically forcing the air under here, and it's going to have to find a way out the duct into the room. So the extra floorboards to do the sunroom were in the unit when it arrived. And so I looked at the sizing, and I can get the sizing just by looking at there. That's 7.36 inches by 48.3 inches. It's only 3 millimeters thick, so it's a fairly thin layer that goes on top. Now there's 16 of these bundles here, and when I calculated the square footage, that's under 400 square feet. The sunroom is 43 feet by 10, which is easy to calculate as 430 square feet. So I feel like I am going to have insufficient floorboards to do the sunroom to match the main building. Now the code for that sunroom, code for the flooring is HCP 44044R Gobi, batch number 053022. So there was an outlet put outside, right beside the access to the hot water tank. This outlet should have been under the trailer. It's a ground fault indicator, a GFI. So it's a GFI outlet. Should have been put under the trailer so that we could put the heat tape for the water. Now we've got the heat tape for the water, but it's plugged in somewhere else. But that outlet should have been under the trailer. They delivered the AC unit that should be installed later by an HVAC person. They just dumped it at the edge of the road. I moved it to the back of the trailer and kind of covered it so it should be protected until we get the HVAC folks to come in and hook up the AC, the external AC. There is a loose floorboard right beside the fridge and that register. So as you walk by, you can hear the floor squeak. So there's something right around this area right here between the refrigerator and that vent where the floors are not properly seated.